Scripts are the story being written, while editing is the story being told. The big question is how that story is going to be told. The director for Mad Max Fury Road had his wife edit the movie. She had no prior experience in editing action movies and went on to win an Oscar for her work on the film. The edit is the structure and the flow of the story being presented to the viewer. Little things like how long we hold on to a scene or how smoothly we're able to transition into the next one. Editing is one of those aspects of filmmaking that I believe goes rather unnoticed by average viewers. Most directors and producers, hell, even some writers, have a good spotlight shining on them when a film releases, and in some cases, the general public knows their name and may go far enough to actually become fans of their work specifically. We don't really see that in editors. I can't name one off the top of my head right now. I want to revert back to the previous point about Margaret editing Mad Max together. She had no experience editing action films. It's crazy to think that each genre of film has its own nuances that differentiate the nature of its editing to the rest. Horror movies hold on to empty scenes longer, and you normally want to tune up all the noises and maybe dim your footage. It's scarier when your hearing is doing better than your eyesight. Action movies, for the most part, can be either fast-paced with quick cuts or artistically planned out stunts that last a single shot. There's a formula behind an edit depending on the themes you are trying to present, all the way down to the color correction should serve a purpose. Editors, even outside of Mad Max, regularly work hand in hand with the director and the writers because of how integral the edit is to the telling of a set story. It has to flow in the way it's intended. The edit alone needs a plan behind it. It's almost like planning for your planning. Everything down to why you're placing one scene after the other is important. Any little tweak, any little movement of audio, whatever little visual effect you decide to put on later, it all has to have a reason to be there. Because if it's not there for a reason, it's just taking up space where something that does have a reason could be there. And that's what it seems like the job of the editor is, to make sure that everything being seen and the way that it moves and the way that it flows consists with the way the story needs to be told. As I said in the last video, the writing and the script is kind of the ground floor foundation of the film, whereas the editing is almost like the step near the end where you need to put everything together and you need to get things in motion and you need to tell the story and you need to get the story to move forward and move forward in a specific way that tells a story in the way it's intended so that it can be received in the way that it is intended. I also feel like it's really cool that editing alongside directing and writing has a style alongside it. Everyone's style is unique to them, and it's really cool when you can pick them up and see what other people do differently and what they normally do, what they jump to, how they solve their own issues. Everyone's different about it, and it's cool to see people staple their style in the history of editing, or to be someone that other people look up to and take inspiration from. Really, all around, the person in the editing chair is working with the top people on set. They're working with the directors and the producers and the writers. That's how involved they are. It is such a crucial part of production, and it is, for the most part, done by only one person. Sure, the director and writers are there to guide them into the way they want it to be edited together, but overall, for the most part, it is one person sitting on that computer putting everything together. Sometimes it's the director who needs to edit his own movie because who else is gonna edit his story? Who else is gonna know how to tell his own story better than himself? It's like a bunch of little structures of why scenes are placed one after the other, why these little cuts were made, why this edit was made. And it all in the end comes together, and it's crazy what can come out on the other end. There are so many little tricks and little things you could get away with and sneak around when it comes to editing. It's crazy all the things you can do. and some of it isn't even hard at all. It's just knowing what can trick the mind, quick cuts, what the eye can't see, what's hard to pick up on. You find a way to get around things that could be mistakes, but you're covering them up really well because that's just how good you are at the job. So I feel like we all need to go out there and check out some of our favorite movies, see who edited those movies, and see what else they edited, and see if we can see any similarities, see if we can pick up on what their style was, and just overall learn more stuff about it.